7 starts right after this, just in case you missed episode 6. Episode 7. Let's recap just a little bit. We're feeling pretty good, okay? Basically, we got one lucky one in the grass, right? A big one. That's kind of saving our day, and we know it. We got lucky. We go catch some deep. We ended up culling 3 times there. I didn't have this in the last video, but here's another one Brent had caught. It wasn't a big cull, but it was a little bit of a cull. So we got something going. We don't have a lot of time left, and that's okay. We feel good about these trees. We think we do. Here's the deal with the trees. We don't think anyone's hit them. The only people that have hit them have been us. We haven't set the hook on one yet. Are we worried that they're gonna be small? Not really. We've done it enough to know, but that way, even if we had that many bites, we only need 1 or 2 of them to be big. We don't need 5 of them. So that happens a lot of times when you're practicing, right? You go out there and you might stick 5 or 6 and one of them's a big one. Well, that one's probably not gonna bite the next day. So we feel good about this. And for the most part, we've seen it. No one's fished it, right? No one's been over there and fished it. We tried earlier in the day to fish it, couldn't do it. It's blowing too bad. It was blowing, we fished for 20 minutes and we left. It just was not good. So we didn't even film it, right? Like I said, there's no reason to. We didn't catch anything. But now we're back. Sun's up. It's calmed way down. Now, like I told you, when I talked about those waypoints, about how there was little clusters, there was one little cluster of waypoints when we first found it that was better than everywhere else. We went through there. Never had a bite. I don't know what it is about fishing. I will never be able to explain this. I experienced it, so I'm not telling y'all anything new. I can't tell you why you go 5 days in a row catching fish, doing something, and then tournament day comes around, nothing's changed and you stop getting bit. And not a little bit, nothing. I don't understand that either. I wish I could tell you that's fishing, that's what we're trying to learn. So if no one can really explain that, and I've never heard anyone be able to explain it, that's just something that's involved with fishing that you have to adapt to. That's like a constant. That's something that's always going to happen to you, will continually happen to you. So you have to be ready for that kind of change. Even though you can't explain it, you have to be ready to adapt and move on. It's like the topwater bite. I got bit pretty easy on the topwater first day I got here. The second day, within a couple minutes, I get 2 bites like it was nothing. Brent got bit on the topwater. And then nothing. We don't get any more bites on it on day 2 of practice. I haven't got any bites on it today. Big surprise. So it's just one of those things. It changes. I can't explain it. We come here and we know we only did this for a little bit. We're looking for 1 bite. Just 1 bite. And now we've gone through the best stuff. It's been 20 minutes since we've been here and nothing. I flip on out there, I pick up on it, and finally, it's heavy, and I see my line. It's already way away from the tree.
I looked up my quick rock, my line's on to the side.
Here, I need to get my stuff. He's freaking got it choked. He's not bleeding, but
it's out there 10 foot. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I set the hook. I get it in. It's coming to the net, and I'm like, gosh. We get it in the net, and the problem why I said gosh was, yeah, it's bigger. It's not like a giant. What I'm saying is, yeah, these are gonna be better fish. And we knew it. I'm not saying they're gonna be all 8-pounders, but consistently we think they're gonna be better. So I get that one, it culls instantly. Brent's trying to do his thing, right? He's got a lot of work to do here. And what I mean by that is, I have the easy job, he has a hard job. He's trying to figure out how to throw a Carolina rig, how to catch a fish, doing something else different than me. He tied on that drop shot. He's throwing the Carolina rig, trying not to get hung up. He's just battling, trying to figure out just some other way to catch one. He even at one point, you know, breaks out a spinnerbait, even though it's not blowing and it's dead sunny. I'm like, yeah, man, try it. Check it out. Whatever you want to do, I'm all for it. So I end up messing around, catch another one.
Man, I think so. Just because he's fatter.
Never hit bottom, man. It just took off.
It culls. I catch another one. It culls. Brent finally, you know, he keeps messing around, throws his drop shot out there, catches one behind where I had already thrown. So we're feeling pretty good. They're all culling, but we haven't caught that big one yet. And the problem is remember when I first went through there, I told you I went through a straight line. Well, now I'm zigzagging and fishing 3 times as many trees as I had in practice, but getting a third of the bites. We're getting bit, but we kind of figured, you know, we had had like 12 to 14 bites there in practice. We're getting like 6. And we figured if we could get 10 to 12, 14, plus the fact we're fishing it longer and more of it, one of those is going to be a good one. It just is. And it's usually easier to catch a big one when you're catching more fish. But we're not catching more fish. So we are not exactly thrilled. We're okay with the weight we have. It's not great. It's not even really good. But we just haven't shot ourselves in the foot. So we're sitting here going, okay, we're going through the whole process. We're going to fish all the trees. We fish them all. We're like, okay, we got that other place where Brent had gotten bit around some trees. I'm like, hey, you know, but I haven't been over there, so I don't know really what it looks like. So we run over there. It's not on camera. Once again, camera got hot. It's 105 again, dead calm, and we're sitting still. So we fished through these trees, which was no big deal. I didn't even pay attention that the camera had shut off. Don't get any bites. Now what? So we run across the lake, fish one more deep spot, no good. Now we're sitting here going, oh yeah, we got this one rocky little point that we had got bit on the final day of practice at the end of the day. We run over there. We had tried to hit it earlier in the day and someone was there. So we pull up there, someone's there. We're like, well, what if we fish over here? And I'm like, well, let's go back over here. We kind of were trying to figure out what we should do. So we leave, and we could have fished this spot with this guy if we wanted to, because where we were gonna fish was not really where he was. But we're like, who cares? So we leave and we're watching them kind of get far enough away, like we're looking at something else and we're idling. And I was like, hey, I think they're leaving. And we're both going, yeah, they're leaving. Let's just keep idling around like we're like we want something over here. So they finally leave, man. We run right back over there. So we start fishing around. I'm like, there's a good chance. And we looked at where they were positioned. It didn't look like they were throwing where I had gotten those bites in practice. So we're throwing around, nothing. I think Brent might have caught one small one, or it had a bite. So we're just trying to, you know, catch one more fish or something. I don't know. We are kind of feel like it's over. Our weigh-in time was 2 o'clock. Like I said, started at 6:15, I can't remember. or ending at 2 or 2:15. I honestly don't remember either. It was one of the two. Well, and that's sort of early, but it's summertime, the water's hot. I get it. It's still an 8-hour day. When we had got bit on this point, but we had grabbed this stuff 2 or 3 casts away. We just never really fished it in practice. We just knew it was there. So I had one waypoint over there. I'm kind of working around, and now the boat's sitting pretty much where I had cast and got bit. Not where the boat was sitting, but it's sitting now where I had really caught those fish, and I'm looking at what I'd caught them on. I'm like, hey man, there's a drop off here. I caught them pulling up that drop off. We're kind of still throwing on the point, and I hear something. And if you look, watch, I look over there, but I don't see anything. And remember, it's dead calm. There's another boat over there, right? They're just anchored up, catfishing. I don't know. They're really kind of far away, but there's another random boat over there. I don't even know if they're fishing. I don't know what they were doing. I don't know if it was them. Took a glance, didn't see nothing. Go back to cast, and then I hear something else. And if you look real close to the screen, I'm gonna try to zoom in. There it is. Do you see that? And I'm kind of looking, and then I see it, and man, Brent hears it too and starts looking. And listen, we all hear carp, drum, gar. There's all kinds of stupid trash fish always hitting the top of the water. I can't tell you how many times guys are with me like, hey, is that a bass? We're like, no man, that's not a bass. No, we always like, no man, that fish just out there having fun, right? He's just jumping up and splashing. This one of those, right? And for whatever reason, if you've been out there long enough, you can hear it. It sounds different. And we're watching, and we see a fairly big fish kind of still on top of the water. And we're watching it, and when I say a fairly big fish, like a 12 to 14 inch, 16 inch fish. You're like, that's not big. Well, it is if that's not what we're trying to catch. That was the bait. Whatever it was still on top of the water, and you could see it kind of showing its side, and all of a sudden you see this other thing trying to eat it. And man, you can see, we don't mess around, right? So I just grab whatever I think resembles anything like it. So I had my hybrid hunter, and it's the easiest one I can get to right off the bat. And I can throw it a long ways. Brent, I don't even remember what he picked up. I couldn't even tell you. I'd have to go back and look at the video. I throw her out there, and I hit it. I hit it dead on, right? And I work it through there. Now I don't see the bait anymore, or what he was after. So he could have eaten it, or I don't know. But I've caught these fish before like this, and they're usually monsters. If you can get them to bite, they're all giants. So I throw over there, reeling, and I'm just anticipating, nothing. And then Brent throws over there, nothing. So we keep throwing, and nothing. And I'm like, I know we don't ever get lucky twice, but that was about to be something awesome. We hadn't seen it since we've been here, man. You just don't see it hardly any. Like, that was gonna be cool. This is also something else. We gotta be in by like 2. It's 1:51 right now, 1:52. Yeah. I mean, that's when all this happened. So we really thought we were gonna get this last second, like, saving grace, right? And I'm going, Brent's like, hey, how far are we? I'm like, I don't know, man. I think we can maybe make it back in 5 minutes. I'm not sure. I mean, pushing it. So we're casting around, and Brent kind of bombs one off, not even close to it, which kind of threw me for a loop, because we're throwing way in front of us, and he just starts throwing to the side. He's cranking around. Got that maybe on, right? He's got that one maybe we had tied on, that maybe. So he throws that maybe out there, DD14, cranks it around, nothing. He bombs one out there again. He wants to throw over there for some reason. I did have a waypoint somewhere over there, but I'm like, man, there's a big one somewhere right in front of us. So he's cranking along, and all of a sudden he kind of loads up.
Oh God, hurry. I'm coming to the back.
Keep him out there.
let's go, let's go. Come on, here. You get him, you get him. I didn't really know what time it was. I knew it was around 152, 153 when he had asked me, and we had like a minute left or something.
Huh? No.
But now I don't know.
Don't worry about
So we
that.
get the fish in, and I'm like, yeah, now it's, I wouldn't say complete panic mode, but it's rush mode, right? I'm running up there. I'm like, just put it in the net. We'll call.
There's only two.
I'm gonna get. So I ran up. I get the front. I get all that stuff.
there's
I
only
mean,
two.
look at it. I mean, we go crazy. This is us going crazy, trying to get ready. Brent's like, "We gonna make it?" I was like, "Yeah, I think so. I think so." I'm like, "Man, it shouldn't be that far. It's pretty close." So we're running back in there, and we make it within like about a minute left. So we're feeling good. We don't even care what weight we have. Like, we just pulled it off the last second to where we didn't just shoot ourselves in the foot. Like we pulled some stuff off. Now, granted, it doesn't really matter at this point. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how far behind we are. It doesn't matter. We know we're not way on up there, but we know we made a shot at this thing. We're thinking maybe we got 20 pounds. We're kind of hoping. We hadn't looked at him in a while. We didn't cull very much. All the ones we were culling were those small ones. I didn't even see his last cull. He was just threw one out there and put that a big one in there. And when I say a big one, it's bigger than the one I caught. Weighs them in, and they weigh. So I'm going, okay, like that gives us a shot. We hear 25's leading it. I'm like, hey, all right, we're not that far off. Now there were quite a few bags over 20, or right around the 19 to 20 pound mark, and I'm going, okay, yeah, we are not doing as good as we thought we were gonna do, even with that weight. Not by a lot, but just by a little bit. Still feeling pretty happy, and we got a game plan. And that's where this second part of this video pops up. Here's our game plan. One is this: we don't have a pattern. We scrambled and junk fished our way to this weight. Now, a lot of times people say, oh, we kind of got lucky and whatever, and you know, sometimes people believe you, sometimes people don't. But we junk fished this up. We caught one doing something different off a different spot, and there was no like where we got on them. But now we're feeling pretty good about something. We do realize that there's maybe a little bit some fish in the grass in certain spots, like the deeper grass. So we're gonna check that out tomorrow. Our deep stuff, we know we're not gonna go down by the dam again because there's been too many people. We just saw a monster hit something on top of the water. And then Brent catches our biggest fish. We're starting right here tomorrow. And we're pretty jacked up because they wanted to fish that point, but they didn't. Those fish that we caught, we know no one's fished there. They're not fishing there. We don't even know how it's really laid out. No big deal. We got some baits. We're gonna throw some big top waters. We're gonna crank. We're gonna do all this stuff in the morning, and we're gonna catch some fish here, like guaranteed. That's all we're really excited about. But we realize, hey, we can fish open tomorrow. We're gonna fish more of the grass. We spent a lot of time down there by those community holes that screwed us. Those trees, although they didn't like help us tremendously, we're gonna catch them again in those trees tomorrow. So we're feeling pretty good, sort of, because that last fish, it didn't sit there and go, hey, we got it all figured out. But it's like that little bit of extra energy to keep you going. Yeah, our confidence is strangely high on how we're gonna catch them, even though we didn't today. Because we learned a lot more today from practice, and then since we didn't shake any fish off, we learned a lot on day one. One of my tournaments, I remember even fishing the tour and stuff. My day twos are always better than day ones. I always want them to be better than day ones. When I was younger, my day ones would be better than day twos. But as I've gotten older, my day twos are better. The reason is I put stuff together, I manage stuff better, I understand things more, and I fish so more freely, and I feel like I have a better understanding of what's going on. And I'm not tied down to a plan. Now our plan has totally changed, right? We don't really have a plan. We just know we're gonna start here and then just go with it. And we have an idea of what's kind of going on. Yeah, we're pretty good. We go get something to eat, have a cold one, get everything ready. Our maybes, they paid off a little bit. I mean, we caught some fish on our maybes today. So now they're not maybes anymore. They're gonna be fish catchers tomorrow. And we've kind of eliminated some places, understand some places. We're gonna hit certain places multiple times tomorrow. That's our game plan. I almost feel like now our game plan for tomorrow is way better than it was today, and we're gonna go smash them doing what we figured out today. All there is to it. Like, we know this. Get ready though. Get ready, because there might be one little bit of information I left out. Just one. And we'll find out that on the next episode. Stay tuned, guys. Day 2 is gonna be epic.